Like, are you out the door?
I am not quite packed yet, GM.
All right.
Not quite packed yet. I am heading to Miami. As you can see, my background is Beeple's Miami piece that he just did, which is amazing. This show presented to all of you from the Haberdashery. Very excited that this is their first part of their sponsorship, and we'll be diving more into what is the Haberdashery, all the things as we kind of move on in this month, and we'll have some fun guests coming in to chat about what they're building and supported by the Haberdashery. Before we get started also, okay, I unboxed this hat the other day, and for some reason, I was like, did I order this? I didn't remember ordering it, but I'm like, I remembered putting it on my wish list. So I was like, maybe I ordered it.
You assumed you had ordered it.
I just assumed I ordered it. I did not order it. It was a gift. So I put it on my wish list in the mini app from Mike.eth, and Burr and Warpcast bought it for me. And that was very nice. So
that's so nice.
I needed to do another shout out about this hat because I misrepresented the hat. All right, we are going to get rolling. Make this official. We are going to be chatting Farcaster news in the first half of the show. And then Seb from Zapper is going to jump in. He's launching that as a full-on client today. I think it's officially official. So we're going to be talking about that. It's been on test flight for a bit, and we are going to jump into that and the second half of the show. So hang with us, and we will be back on the other side of this 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, December 3rd. You are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day, plus a chat with Seb from Zapper. And okay, I'm going to take this off for a little bit. And apparently we have a new thing where we can have timers on the banners, but I don't think it's working. So I'm like, that's not turning off. But we'll be playing around with that. So, oh well, that didn't work. And very excited to chat with Seb, and very excited that this is our first episode officially presented by the Haberdashery. So thank you to DGen DAO, the Haberdashery. You can learn more in the DGen DAO channel on Farcaster.
I'm very excited for Seb to come because a lot of the discussion this week is Farcaster is not decentralized enough.
Yeah.
That pops up every now and then, and what that conversation is. And it's really cool to see all these new clients actually implementing Farcaster.
And they're really, and there's some really big ones that are, launching more broadly. They've been in test mode, beta mode. Uno's another one. So we've got DGen. So there's a bunch that are launching. So I'm excited.
The base app is still in beta. That is that it's in
beta. I forget that's in beta.
Yeah.
I forget that's in beta, but it is. Yeah. So lots of things happening with that. But let's jump into some news. And I just realized I had closed this out. We got a few things to chat about and a few builder things to call out. And then Seb will be rolling into the studio. This from DWR, update on Clanker Spotlight. We're going to iterate on the format. A lot of feedback. 1, people like seeing new projects highlighted. 2, there were too many. 3, existing projects weren't getting the same treatment. So for now, no more new spotlights, but we'll likely bring back with a set of guidelines, clear criteria. And what I wanted to follow this up with, but didn't quite get it done, was I just re-edited 6 of our Clancaster spotlights where we highlighted throughout last month, we highlighted a bunch of different builders who are building on Farcaster and Clanker, and we're repackaging those interviews so they're standalone. They're almost, I just now have to upload them all to YouTube and put the notes in, but they're all re-edited and ready to go. So you can enjoy them on their own because they are pretty evergreen, and we love the builder spotlights. We love to highlight builders on this show. So I think this is valid feedback that he got. I felt the same way. It was like, this was really good, and then it was just too much. There were just too many. So it didn't feel like a spotlight.
A lot of people launching Clankers and projects using Clankers.
Yeah.
And I think also when I was at DevConnect, some of the feedback I got was you get the announcement, like you get the spotlight. There just wasn't enough deeper context with it. So people didn't always know what to necessarily do with that information. Right. So I think builders want you to use their apps, use their mini apps, try their project, obviously buy their token, but so if whether you want to be kind of an app user or you're speculating or, you want to play with tokens, there wasn't, I think, enough information for people to act on.
I agree. Yeah. So hopefully they'll iterate on this a little bit and we'll see a better version coming soon. So, all right, moving on. This has been freaking me out a little bit. Fun little Farcaster feature is new accounts get a warplet PFP by default if they don't set their own. So now instead of seeing the little invader guy, which used before that was a ghost, they now we see the little warplet. So it's kind of like messing me up a little bit because I'm like, is that a new person, or is that a person who's been here for a while? So it's fascinating.
My warplet's on Twitter.
I know.
So do new people get a random warplet, or is it all the green guy?
Oh. I think it's random because I've seen multiple of a very basic looking warplet in different colors. Okay. So I think it's a random one because I've seen a few that look like brand new accounts and they all have the warplet.
Also, Linda, blink if you've been kidnapped, if you've been hacked.
I know. So my quote-cast of this was, I imagine Linda saying this through her gritted teeth. She's in the final stages of grief and is moving into acceptance. But just to be clear, she ain't happy about it. But she's doing, she's going along. We appreciate it.
If you can't beat them.
You can't beat them, join them.
If you can't beat it, change your PFP to a warplet.
There you go. This from Quotient, our new leaderboard. Leaderboard updates. Week 2 winners. Moon Poppy supplanted Nomadic Frame, number 2, at the final hour, driven by the success of Moon. Horsefax, Jesus, and Nounish Prof placed 3, 4, and 5 respectively. I mean, that's a fantastic top 5. I mean,
bravo.
Fun. And I don't mind losing to Horsefax or Jesus. I'm good with that. Rewards. Winners from a range of ranks, 1 to 10, 500 to 504, 996 to 1000 receive a gift for themselves and the creator of their choice through a Gifter by Shira, that's pretty cool. We'll reach out to winners directly and additional details on how to claim their gifts. Future rewards. This week, the top 5 posters will receive handmade crocheted beanies courtesy of Nana. Coming soon, Token Evangelist Leaderboard, Traders Leaderboard, Token Leaderboards, and Trending Tokens page. So very cool to see how he's building out this mini app. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty happy. Pretty excited. And if you want to partner, I would reach out to them, reach out to Quotient if you want to partner on rewards, because that's actually a really good opportunity to highlight whatever it is you're building. So cool stuff. And your background, FarCon is coming to Rome. Very exciting. Here we go. FarCon is coming to Rome. This is from Leone. We're going to meet you soon in one of the most iconic cities in the world. We're so hyped to bring the purple energy to the eternal city. May 4th to 5th, 2026. Clear your calendar for 2 days. Creators, builders, founders, artists, and all kinds of Farcasters will gather in Rome to celebrate the ecosystem, share ideas, hang IRL, and shape what's next. Tickets drop later this week. Follow FarCon Rome channel so you don't miss it. P.S. If you donated 100 plus to the initial crowdfund, we'll airdrop you a ticket. So look for those as well. And very exciting. It's getting real. I still have to book stuff for ETH Denver, and I can't even think about that till after Art Basel. So I'm
one thing at a time.
Also kind of stressing me out a little bit. But I'm very excited to see this coming along. This is going to be a really amazing FarCon. This from DWR. Okay. Before we get into this, I want to level set for a minute. So this was a big discussion over the past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of discussion about who's working for Merkle. Are they, talking about tokens, et cetera, et cetera. So Dan finally had casted this, and to add a little bit of clarity, wanted to clear a few things up. 1, no one at Merkle is getting paid to shill tokens. 2, I'm the only one at Merkle who approves token-related news stories. This is Dan. 3, our internal guidelines at Merkle don't do anything where having access to our code base or data would put you in a privileged position. That said, if someone on our team is trading or talking about tokens on Farcaster, that's fine. You don't have to follow them. You can also mute or block them. If something they are trading or talking about ends up trending, that's algorithmic and the result of other people finding that information useful, is the way I would say that. I am not going to get into the full discussion because literally we could talk for 2 hours about this. So what I'm going to suggest, though, there's a really good discussion in the replies. So Iran, I'm not sure how to say that, really dove in deep regarding ethics and just some thoughts there. And I think they had Dan and she, had a really good conversation back and forth about this. So if you want to dive in more, and also Brick's Bounty, so there was a good conversation there. If you want to just read through that is helpful to kind of getting more about what this situation is, and you can make your own judgment on that. Anything else about that? I'm going to say one more thing, but one more thing. This from Derek. And I thought this was useful. This is from Derek. I've used a number of communication templates throughout the years in a variety of capacities. Here's one I've used that I hope might be helpful for fellow leaders. Yes, no, he, she, they, work, doesn't work for whatever company. In a part-time, full-time contract capacity, he, she, they are responsible, not responsible for product, engineering, growth, operations, specifically near-term area responsibility. Per our general policy since year of founding, all cast tweets, posts are their opinion and not financial advice, opinion of company, contractually binding, etc. I thought that was useful. Might be useful, especially the last part. Because that's a very common thing. All opinions are my own. You see that all the time on social media. I think that's useful.
A great reminder.
Great reminder.
People stopped doing that. There was an era where everybody had that in,
Everyone.
In the earlier days of social media, because you were trying to navigate how to be an employee, but also a personal, your own person on social media.
Exactly.
And it was thoughts are my own.
Yeah.
Nice reminder.
And that's just a great reminder and very useful template should anybody need it.
Also, Derek threads the needle again, 10 out of 10 cast in. This could be a very serious tweet, genuine, helpful, useful information, but also hilarious. Yeah. And could be total. He could just be making fun at the situation.
It's both.
So, I don't know.
Both things. I think it's both things. I think there's a lot of nuance here. I think it is both things. It is both entertaining and educational. Edutainment, if you will. And then you also had a really good conversation with Frypan stemming from our discussion on Monday and around decentralization and censorship and openness. And his reply was, Adrian, you asked ForceFacts the wrong question. Yes, censorship cannot happen at the client level, which is amazing. It's the openness section in my post. But if you asked Merkel and Nana are validators, refuse to include my casts and blocks. How can I post to Farcaster? The answer would be you cannot. And kind of dove in more into that side of it, that scenario. Lots of good information here. So if you're interested in this topic, this cast will be in our show notes. So you can dive in a little bit more because there's a lot he dove into here. Anything else you want to say on this? Because I think some of this was, it was really interesting. It's just a little bit more technical and
I won't go into the technical details of what we discussed, but one, I just want to shout out Vrypan because I appreciate him taking the time to write up long replies and explain things to me. And we appreciate that, number one. Number two, I'll just say where I find the most intellectually interesting conversation to happen when it comes to Farcaster and decentralization is where the line is between can't be evil and don't be evil.
Right. Yeah.
And where exactly are the, guarantees and promises made with code. And I think one of the things he pointed out to me was where something that I had previously thought was a cannot be evil because it isn't code. He was pointing out if you don't have fuller and further decentralization, it's just easier then for different validators to coordinate in the future.
Right.
And change the code. So yes, it's in code, but unless it's I think it's the degree of decentralization makes it so that it actually can't be changed.
Makes sense.
And so really helpful. And then I was always thinking of you can't do the censorship at the protocol level. You can at the client level because clients are free to censor and change and do whatever they want in the algorithm. And to his point is, as long as it makes it to the protocol, anyone is free to make a client. Anyone is free to have access to that data. And that's really where the openness comes from. And there really are better kind of promises and guarantees for developers to build on Farcaster being an open system. So my mental model is evolving and I thought it was really good. And he just brought up a point too, that it was if someone like me who's super in depth, deep into the system doesn't fully understand, then probably other people don't either. So I found it a really it was a healthy and good conversation. I appreciate him taking the time to have that conversation.
I saw you make that comment and I thought that was, I agree. That was a great point. It's if we, we don't know, it's chances are nobody does unless you're really deep in the weeds. If you, it's because we pretty much are seeing almost everything. So, especially you, where you dive into this side of it too. So, and you've been in developer calls and you've been in developer day and still, so that's, I think that's interesting.
And there's always, I think to Dan's point, and I don't know if you pulled this later, he just talked to, you probably did the state of Farcaster where he talks about, did you pull the state of Farcaster?
No.
Oh my goodness. Did you? Wow. Okay. Well, I'll pull that. Dan's writing. So Dan is writing a series of casts this week, writing about the state of Farcaster. And he really talked about their approach, which is being pragmatic, not dogmatic. And this is kind of the nuance of what does sufficiently decentralized mean? What does a product-led protocol mean? And he admits he won't satisfy, the decentralist maxis because, and also the goal is to build an at-scale social network with 1 billion people using it every day. So how do you do that? Anyway,
found it.
I can pull it. We can
found it. And I found something else that I missed that I need to pull up, but I'm not going to read this. It's very long. So thank you for that summary that you just did. State of Farcaster, December 2025. I'm going to be writing a series of casts this week on the topic. All right. So we will keep this in mind. Varun and I have been working on Farcaster for over 5 years. The goal has always been to build at scale, decentralized social networking protocol with 1 billion people using it every day. This is a hard problem. And while we've made progress, we still are still many orders of magnitude away from achieving our goal. So this goes on for a bit and we will include this in the show notes as well to make sure you can check this out. And then sufficient decentralization for social networks. There you go. Your favorite article right there. All right, very cool. And then I did also just see something else that I somehow had missed, which is the first presale is happening this week. So PSA, we're doing our first Clanker presale this week. Starts Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. The presale will last for 7 days. Anyone who participates in the presale gets the same terms. 24 hours after the presale is over, the Clanker will be live for trading. We will be highlighting the project and team across a few channels. Expect us to iterate on how pre-sales work. So good experiment. I'm looking forward to seeing this. And I don't know how I missed this one. So very cool. So good thing I went to look for that other one because I missed this completely. All right. This from the base team. We're updating base app mini apps discovery and will now show screenshots and more info. So make sure to add screenshots to your manifest. It looks like almost similar to the App Store, the like iPhone App Store, as opposed to the mini app store. So very interesting. Look for this, and this will be in the base app. So if you have a mini app that's working on Farcaster or base app, you're going to have to update it separately to make sure it to preview properly on base app.
Nothing you have to do separately.
Okay, so but you still do need to add these additional.
Yes, it's just I don't think Farcaster is using screenshots.
That's why. Okay.
So there is a manifest file. There's just different metadata tags that you'll add to your screenshot, add to your mini app. One of them are paths to different screenshots that you can use. So I think Base is just reminding you to populate them because they're not all required. There's like a lot of metadata tags that you can add. They're not all required. So the optional ones, it's, I would say you're going to want to do that if you want distribution and discovery in the base app. And I made a to-do list to do it to our mini app.
And Dream, of course you want discovery. Because Dream, distribution rules everything around me. All right. A few more items from our favorite builders. As soon as this loads for me. Come on. Not today, Satan. Let's go. All right. This was really fun. We had a new drop of a Farcaster Wrapped, and there were some issues with it. So it went down for a little bit. I think it's back. But it's a platinum. I was platinum Farcaster Wrap 2025. Click here to get yours. Hopefully it's working now. I know it went down for a little bit because it was pulling the wrong information. And then the dude had corrected. This is from the dude and Bribe, and one other person is helping with this, and I forget who it is. So this was mine, and it was pretty interesting. Although I think the fuck count is off. Or he has not answered whether or not WTF counts, because I don't think I've said it that much. I think I say WTF a lot though. So that's possible. But I thought this was really fun, and it was done in a really fun way. So go check this out. Did you do yours, by the way?
So I didn't do mine from the dude. I did the other wrapped one that came out yesterday, and I don't know if you pulled that one.
Is it this one? Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
From Javatoshi. Yes, I did this one, and I haven't done the dudes yet, but I will.
And I haven't done this
one. And I will do all of the unwrapping.
We'll do all of them,
especially from the dude, because we're good friends. So I promise to unwrap. But yeah, I will. I haven't done the dudes, and I'm curious how many WTFs I've had.
Yeah, I am as well. So this is from Javatoshi. So this is a separate one. Thank you, everyone who's been sharing their Wrapped 25 mini app thing. I've never had so many great feedback. I've never had so many active users. I've never had so many requests to prepare their wraps. This is amazing. Way better than I expected. Quick update. So far, I've pre-generated 2.5K insights. My initial goal was to pre-generate for 6K users. Going to take a while because sometimes it's very slow. Some users need 30 minutes of a script to download all their casts. I'm going to guess that's us. Sorry. Oops. So I'm lagging behind, but I love that as long as it's December, it's not too late to do it. I mean, this is early. So yeah, so you got plenty of time. I've had 653 priority requests since yesterday, 60% of them completed already, but now I got to notify everyone and maybe I need to do that manually. FML, I'll do that tomorrow with patience. Seriously, I have no words to thank you all for the support and love this mini app is having. I'm more excited than ever to keep building and trying things. So very cool. Love seeing people putting these out there. This is really fun.
I wasn't following Javatoshi before, but I did the
I am. Yeah.
his wrapped app. Can I just give him a shout out? It is very well done. It's like very good UI. There's a lot of like animations. It's like kind of leveled up from Frames V1, if you will. But one of the things he did at the end after this like great experience, he's gotten people do it, is he mentions like, hey, I'm a full stack Web3 or Web3. I don't know. I'm a full stack developer and I'm for hire.
Oh,
like
cool.
Looking for work and you can hire me. Genius.
Smart.
Genius.
So smart.
Something. Yeah.
Like if you, instead of just saying open for work on LinkedIn, build a mini app. If you're a dev, build a mini app.
Also, it's like if you're going to capture the attention of the timeline, do something with it.
Yeah. Use it for, I mean, it's very hard to grab the attention of the whole timeline. So congrats when you do.
And he got a shout out, I think, from Varun talking about how good the app was. So if there's a poly market for next Merkle hire,
you're going with Javatoshi.
The odds went up. Can we do just a quick shout out going back to the screenshots for mini apps?
Yes.
Statuette just posted a link to the docs for Base App, which I'm putting up on the screen. So if anyone wants to grab that, if you are a mini app developer, check that out.
And we'll add that to our, I'll add it to the show notes as well, that link. So that was this one when we were talking about this. And we'll add that to the show notes to make sure that builders are aware of where to go to learn more. All right. I had already closed that link, so I had to go back and reopen it. All right, moving on. We got a couple more quick things, and then our friend Seb will be here to talk about Zapper. This from Cassie. I hope you all know what team you're on, and if you haven't yet, better take care of your onboarding before tomorrow being today. This is Cassie's Merry Hexmas. Have you played this yet? Have you gone in yet?
No.
You need to do this one.
I know. I know, and I haven't. I'm sorry.
But she has a plan. There's something coming.
It's a whole game.
It's a whole game. There's a whole thing going on.
It wasn't just check your email.
No. So yeah, it's ramping up, and it's gonna get a little crazy. I said to her something to the effect of, she said, this is testing Equilibrium. And I said, oh, I love how you test things. I remember the Hunger Games. And she said, funny, you should mention that. So,
and then you got right in.
And funny, you should mention that. Make sure you know which team you're on. So you do this little onboarding. It puts you on a team. And then that apparently will be important later today. So if you, she took the game away. There was a game in here that was very frustrating. So you have your mail, you can go in there and learn all the things. And then you also have a little music app that plays just this, it's very like Winamp kind of vibe. And there was a game in here that I got stuck on level 6 and I was very annoyed. I could not get past it. But anyway, go check that out. It's a it's Hexmas. I was saying Merry Hexmas mini app. And if you're not already in there, you really got to get in there. I see Seb down in our green room. He just popped in. Going to just go through a couple other quick things and then bring him up. This from Moon Poppy. Important note, just to make sure that everybody knows, if you're doing anything with Moon, it is on Monad. So this was a note from Moon Poppy, and this will apply to any Monad tokens, I assume. Hello, please, if you trade Moon, do it on Farcaster Wallet or Matcha if you can't import. Uniswap front end isn't indexing Monad well. So this user hit a pool, not the main one, that showed up, and it only had 100 USD. or so in the pool. So this user got slippage, 95%. So make sure, just be aware of that. And I think it's just due to the newness of Monad and the way that the pools are working. It could be the hooks again. I'm not sure. One of the things that we want to do during this haberdashery sponsorship is we are going to try to bring somebody on to talk about V4 hooks from Uniswap. We're also going to bring some folks on to talk about liquidity pools, because I think this is really useful information, even if you're not a dev. And so hopefully we can do that sometime during this sponsorship and get a little bit of education in here. All right, couple more quick things. This from Toady Hawk. I am not going to read this whole thing, but I said I swear that Toady writes these really long ones just to see if I'll read the whole thing out on Farcaster. This from Toady Hawk. The best collaborations check 2 boxes. You generally respect the other team and want to see them win. The result is totally positive. This one nails both. NetNose and I are huge fans of what Savage and Cat Cartel have been building with Minted merch. And our communities already overlap in a big way. So when they mentioned exploring staking rewards for Minted merch holders, we were happy to jump in and help. So this is related to Minted merch announcing staking meets merch. We've teamed up with Betterment to build a platform to reward our stakers, spin to claim once per day for a chance to win the monthly Mega Merch pack, one of our 4 mini merch packs, and the 1 million Minted merch daily jackpot or 100K Minted merch bonuses. So very exciting, and love to see the builders collaborating and working together to build something like this. So if you have Minted merch, check out the staking happening now. And a couple more quick things. Just a funny. I don't know if you saw this, but the algo just served me up 2 casts, one by Phil, one by Jake. Phil showing that he's in Palo Alto and Jake saying, "Good morning, Asia." I commented, "Well done, algo." And they commented back, "Thanks for liking my cast and not Jake's. But why you like Phil cast, but not Jake cast." So the conspiracy continues. One last thing.
And if you don't understand what
don't worry about
it. Talking about, it's because you haven't been on Farcaster.
You haven't been on Farcaster for a while. The conspiracy is, are Phil and Jake the same person? Continue to tune in to find out.
We know who Phil is. He's doxed. Jake is anon.
Jake is anon.
There has been some speculation.
A little bit of speculation. I might have fueled that speculation. This from Beeple. This might be my favorite Beeple every day ever. Over on, this is called Miami, over on Twitter and various places. And I had to pull it over to Farcaster because I love it. And if you are going to be in Miami for Art Basel this week, planning a happy hour, we're going to do a little Farcaster Friday on Thursday. So if you are going to be in Miami, please respond on this cast and I'll make sure we get you the info. All right. That is everything. Let me close this out and bring up our friend here to talk about Zapper, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited to see all these different new clients coming out. Zapper has its own vibe, and I think that is a really smart approach for builders who are building clients. So let's bring Seb up now. Welcome to the stage, Seb. It's nice to have you here.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
We're excited to have you here. So let's talk about Zapper and give everyone sort of like, what is Zapper? How are you incorporating Farcaster? And like, just give us sort of like a basic overview of that, and then we'll dive into with some additional questions. But let's start there.
Definitely. So kind of to give you a bit of background, because Zapper we launched in 2019 in a very different kind of context where DeFi was super popular. You had this new kind of weird smart contract getting launched every day or farm that people were staking into. But from those very early days, our goal was to make those things kind of accessible and kind of readable to everyone, right? We kind of saw Ethereum as this like book of economic freedom where you have all these different opportunities or things that people are doing on chain, but it's inaccessible to most, right? And one of the kind of first things we realized early on is people would just look at other accounts, which kind of farms they go into or which kind of position they'd enter in. And to me, that was kind of like the light bulb where it's like, actually Zapper isn't like this pure portfolio tracker or financial product. It's a social product, right? It's a portfolio tracker, but actually it's a social product. And from
so
that
essentially
moment,
you were like, you realized the interface of it all before before all the sort of people started doing that, like creating the apps that were copy trading and stuff like that. Yeah, very cool.
right. And I think it's like, for a very long time you associate everything financial related to really kind of something you do in isolation, you don't share with everyone. I think there's culturally a lot of that kind of baggage that we have today. But I think like once you had DeFi and NFTs, that kind of started breaking that mold, or breaking that kind of that what eventually started happening is people started sharing freely. Oh, this is the NFT I bought. Or people are kind of like trying to see what type of trades people were opening on Twitter. And so eventually Twitter kind of became this town square for like all on-chain activity. People were building bots to broadcast stuff that was happening there. People were talking about, oh, is this person lying about like this trade they did or something like that, right? And with all the iterations that Zapper did, we eventually got to a point where like I think Farcaster has a social graph that's good enough for us to build that product today, where you kind of merge kind of the on-chain activity. You think of it as a like downtown, right, where you go, you see the popular restaurants, you go to the bank, take out a loan, you kind of feel the vibrant nature of the blockchain, capture that from a data perspective, but then plug it into a social graph like Farcaster, so you can see the people walking in the street, right? You can get a feel of who's participating in this new economy. Because for a very long time, it's just been, you have this vibrant activity happening on chain, but there's still like hex addresses. There's still like these avatars that you can't really put a person behind, right? And this is what our client is achieving to be. It's achieving to be like the on-chain kind of town square where people connect via the things that they value. So they talk about what's happening on chain. And it's starting really with kind of a trading focus, but we've been iterating a lot with like FIP2 to kind of surface like NFT sales. We're also looking to add like prediction markets. So really to bring all that kind of conversation, and rather than creating conversation kind of initially as like Twitter, Farcaster was, we're taking like what's happening on chain as the source for where the conversation comes out. And so that's really kind of the angle we're taking with our client.
That was one of the things I loved in the very early Farcaster days. Like when I first jumped on, there was an NFT feed, recent purchases. And then you could go to somebody's profile, see what NFTs they had, or you could go to your own and like go into the community and see all the people who were on Farcaster who had the same NFT as you. So like those kind of things I thought were really useful, and they're no longer in the main client. So I did notice that when I went into Zapper recently, and I was like, oh, it's back. I'm so excited. And then you mentioned the prediction market aspect of it. And I just saw that today. I don't think I had noticed that. I saw a cast from you about that. So can we talk a little bit about the prediction market? what exactly is it? Is it its own market, or are you tapping into something like Polymarket or something along those lines?
Yeah, we're leveraging Polymarket.
Awesome.
And the angle, I think, is so what we're basically like, the hypothesis is that prediction markets are inherently social. And right now we're in the directory phase of prediction markets, right? Where you go on Polymarket and it's a directory of sports, politics, finance. But I feel like sports prediction markets, or people like speculating on the price of Bitcoin, like these are inherently like drivers of conversation. I see you kind of buy a share of like, I don't know, like a football team winning, and I prefer the other one, right? To me, that's immediately like a moment for me to do like the counter bet and kind of talk about it, right? Also, it's an angle.
And
for
I think
discovery.
we've seen that a lot with Bracky on Farcaster.
Exactly.
I mean, it's very clearly something that there is a large and mostly a lot of non-crypto folks who have that kind of interest. So it makes perfect sense to lean into that. That makes a lot of sense. So are you seeing just what people can you actually tap into Polymarket on Zapper so that you're actually trading, or are you like just essentially using Polymarket and the activity is coming over to Zapper? Like which is it?
So for now, we're indexing Polymarket. So right now it's really from a read mode. So you see the events, you can't take any action on Zapper yet. So the plan is obviously to be able to add that functionality right from Zapper.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So do you need to add something on the Polymarket side to pull that information? Like, does it connect? Is it reading I haven't used Polymarket yet, so I don't know if you can add like a Farcaster account. I'm assuming you can't, or maybe it's a Twitter account. Like, how are you surfacing that information?
Right. So we're leveraging like the verified addresses.
Okay.
So if one of your address trades on Polymarket, it'd show up on our feed.
Okay.
And this is how it works for trades, for NFT sales. The moment an address that's associated to a Farcaster profile does something, then it surfaces it on the feed.
And it's nothing we need to add to Zapper. It's just pulling it from, if we've already verified it in our Farcaster account, it's going to pull that from there. Oh, very cool.
Exactly. And even like when you visit a profile, it also pulls balances from all your verified addresses into one view. And
by the way, shots fired in the chat. Zapper is so much better than the Mace app. There you go. Shots fired. I think Zapper is very different from any of the other clients. Like, it has a very different vibe. And I think that's great. Like, if you're building a client at this point, it should have a different vibe. Like, it should have a different purpose, because if you're just creating the same thing that exists already as Farcaster, like, you're not gonna pull anybody in or pull anybody new. But when I use the Zapper one, it also, I will say this to those who have tokens, I have literally bought tokens because I was using Zapper and I was like, oh, I didn't see this, or, oh, this person bought this. And I was like, oh, this really works well for that. It really does. And it was like, I bought like Clanker again. I'm like, why am I buying Clanker? Because I'm just seeing it in this feed and it was very easy to do. And I was, it was like just the vibe. I keep saying vibe because I don't have a better word for it, but it's the way in which this UI works that kind of drives that for sure in terms of token attention. And I think but also it's not in a, I don't know, shilly way, or I don't even know what the word is. It's just very well designed. So whoever did the UI, it's really good. Do you have that same feeling, Adrian? Like, when you use it, is it like, do you get that it's a very different, like, you feel like you're in a different world, a different part of Farcaster, if you will?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so, and I think that's great, especially for one, if you're a trader and this is like your main thing, this is going to be a better client for you, I think. But also, even if you're not, I think using different clients is helpful because it gives you different perspectives. You're just going to see different things that you don't see on the main Farcaster client or the base app because it serves it up in a different way. So I think that's helpful as well.
Yeah, I think so many of like the early clients were just kind of clones. Like it was just a series of Twitter clones that happened to have the Farcaster protocol. So maybe a slightly different algo. You see but the experience was the same. So I think we're starting to see between Zapper, even between base app, Uno, which is, more kind of content focused and image focused, just how you can have an underlying protocol be the same, but completely different experiences. And to me, that's like the most exciting thing about Farcaster, which is portable social graph. Like every time an app tries to make me like create a new social, like it's like, everything becomes social. It's just, I don't want that. But
I think that's another good point. Just adding a Farcaster graph to your app is helpful just because we don't have to sign up again. Nobody wants to sign up again.
100%.
Ever again.
One thing too, we realized like, it's like there's so much untapped content broadcasted on the Farcaster protocol that's not leveraged in the sense of like, there's a lot of like dormant Farcaster users, right, that came in the big degen wave a year ago, but they're still trading on chain. They're still buying NFTs. Like you can still engage with them even if they're not posting or casting on the protocol. And to me, that shows another power of kind of mixing the on-chain activity with the social graph. Is it creates a hook for that user to come back, right? Because if I reply on a trade from someone that hasn't been on Farcaster, well, they're kind of there, even if they're not active, right? And that acts as a way to like reel them back in because they're like, well, why did I get a notification on Farcaster? I've been there a year. Oh, they're replying on this thing. What is this? Oh, let me check, right? It creates this nice kind of feedback loop where even if you're not directly casting, you're still publishing content that people can engage with. And I think that's like a really, because a lot of people, I kind of see like there's what you say and there's what you do. What's interesting with the on-chain activity is it's kind of like constantly broadcasting your beliefs or your taste without you needing to put words out there. So I think it's a kind of this new format for a post, right? It's not a post, but this new format for something that you can engage with that is super valuable. But
it's signals. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a whole bunch of signals and they can mean different things. Sometimes it's market signals and sometimes it's community signals. So different things.
Do you remember on Farcaster a few months ago, everyone was talking about how mini apps are content, like code is content. It was that meta. So now what I'm hearing, Seb, is like trades as content.
Exactly.
Like on-chain activity as content.
Yeah, because if you look at, for me, the DeFi kind of summer and NFT summer were both big kind of light bulb moments for me where I realized like, oh, people are like building bots just to bring on-chain activity onto Twitter so that people can talk about it. Like you have CryptoPunk sales, you have someone posting a farm or something that's happening. And so there's like this behavior has always existed, but there hasn't been a product for it. And so it's like, how do we bring that cool downtown that we all have and use closer to our social graph and not rely on and Farcaster has also been kind of starting to push in this direction as well, as kind of meshing with a more trading focus, but bring those two things together.
Yeah. And was that a good thing for you or a bad thing? Because like it kind of started to like step onto your territory.
No, I like it.
Okay.
No, I think it's good. And if there's competition around like that area, I think it ends better for like.
I think it's better for all of us for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely better for users to have competition. And and like be able to see these different differentiators between the different clients for sure. So let me just pull this really quick. So this is one of the casts you said Zapper is now using FIP2 for swaps, NFT sales, prediction trades, tokens, NFT collections. We see it as an important primitive to connect on-chain events and objects to the FC protocol. So this is kind of what we were just talking about, but why does can you maybe just give us a little bit of a slightly technical overview? Why is FIP2 important to this, to make this possible? Like what's the reason there that it's allowing you to surface?
So yeah, FIP2 I think is like probably, well, it started to be like the most underrated part of the protocol. I think right now it's starting to be rated. People are discovering what you can do, but to give an overview, when you like reply to a cast, there's a target, right? That target happens to be the cast you're replying to. So the cast hash in this example. But say you want to post about a token or reply to a swap. How do you use that target to represent something other than a cast? And so FIP2 allows you to basically, when you write a cast, put an arbitrary target. You could be a YouTube URL, it could be a contract, it could be anything, right? Any string that you can imagine could be that target. And so we're leveraging FIP2 to build formats for replying to swaps, right? So in the case of a swap, when you're replying to a swap, the target is like swap and the encoded version of that transaction. And so it allows to kind of build the standard for other clients to also be able to display that in their own client. And so if a client wanted to display a reply to a swap, they would pull the target and then extract the data from it and then rebuild the swap to show it in the feed. And it just gives you so much flexibility as to what you can talk about and cast. It's very different from an embed because it's singular. You can only reply to one cast. You can only reply to one swap. Versus an embed, you can have an image, you can have a token. So they're kind of, for me, it's like reply versus quote cast. So you can quote cast a swap, but you can also reply to a swap. When you reply to a swap, you're encoding the swap as that target, right? If you're quote casting a swap, then you're putting the swap URL for how that swap is represented as an embed. And so we've been using FIP2 for a bunch of on-chain events now, and still kind of expanding and seeing what we can do with it.
That was a beautiful explanation.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
So FIP2 is, I guess, it's been around forever, right? It's literally the second Farcaster, Farcaster improvement to the protocol. Every smart person we've had on has talked about how great FIP2 is, and no one explains it so well.
No one's explained why. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone's like, yes, this is amazing. Prof, I think what we could do for our mini app, Seb, I'm just taking over for one sec, is everyone, we do a live stream 3 times a week. We talk about Farcaster and people come and chat but the chat gets totally dispersed. So we have some people chatting in YouTube, some on Twitter. And then other people are like, hey, we want to chat inside of Farcaster. So, and we have a mini app. People are watching right now in our mini app. So I think we can do ad chat in our mini app, but with FIP2. So our show becomes the target.
Exactly. That's a great use case.
So every episode has its own target, and then you get people talking about the show, and then you've got context for news.
I love it.
Okay, cool.
Actually, what's his username? VR Pan, something like that.
Brightpan?
Brightpan. Okay, so he had he was looking to see if we could add like this FIP2, but for anything kind of. So you just put in the URL, the FIP2 kind of string or URL, and then you see the conversation about that directly from the client, which I think is a pretty cool idea.
Very cool.
So,
Adrian, go ahead.
Seb, is today a big launch day for you?
Yeah, it is. I was still waiting on the App Store review, but if it doesn't get approved, we're just going to launch a web in Android today and should follow up with iOS tomorrow. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it available on web? It is available on web?
It's going to be available today. Yep.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Because we only can really we've only been using Farcaster client on the show because nothing else is web available that works. I mean, Supercast used to be, Base App's not. Like, so that would be great. And we can mix it up a little bit. So good to know. All right, today. Look for that later today. Amazing.
I know you had some trouble getting App Store approval. And when I say you, not just you, everyone. Do you want to chat at all about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's been, it's basically the last 3 months we've been trying to get the app approved so we can launch. It started with basically they were like, oh, you need to allow users to delete their Farcaster kind of profile. And then it kind of became tricky because it's like they kind of view it as a Web 2 kind of social media. But we eventually did something to do, like basically deleting the signer. But then the kind of exchange part came. Basically, they're challenging us and telling us, you're an exchange. You need to be licensed as an exchange. And you need to show your licenses for every country that you're operating in. And
ridiculous.
Once they put us in that box, there's no, like, I had calls with them and they're like, we view you as an exchange, not as a wallet, or like not as this other thing that you're saying you are. And so you need to do this. And so, yeah, we eventually work with Coinbase on it, like, so they can help us. And like they've been super helpful. Varun has been super helpful on this.
Good. Yeah.
So right now we're getting to like the last few bits of they've been kind of testing, but they're like just really small things that we can kind of resolve. But it's tough because it's basically a guessing game. They tell you it's rejected, a very vague reason, and then you kind of have to guess what you need to do to kind of solve that issue. So yeah, that's crazy. It's been crazy. And that's why we're like, okay, the app we're like, okay, next week's going to happen. But at one point we're like, okay, let's just build the web client.
Yeah.
And launch with a web client, because I don't know when this is going to launch, so that we can
you're being held a little bit hostage by Apple. That's not really fair. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
So worst case scenario, we launch with 2 out of 3 clients, and then iOS should follow very quickly. But anyone would be able to have like the full experience because we have web.
Because you have the web, which that's great. There was a question in the chat from Hamalama. Can I ask about Zapper web page on the Coinbase wallet app on mobile? It crashes every time I connect on there. Do I just need to use another wallet? So I don't know if you know what that's referring to.
That would be on the Base wallet app, I imagine.
I'm assuming it's the Base, but maybe the old. They may not be in the beta. They might be in the Coinbase wallet because it's not. So essentially, it's Base app, but it's not fully. Maybe not the beta.
Try it out. I'll try to reproduce the issue and see if it's something on our end.
Well, and also it may not matter after today. Just go use Zapper on the web. There you go. Problem solved. He does have beta. Okay, does have the beta. So maybe check into that, but I'm not sure what exactly that means.
It's kind of like interesting inception. Like if you're opening Zapper client from the Base client.
I know.
That's cool.
Within the browser. I wouldn't even thought to do that. Yeah. I wouldn't think to do that.
Inside of Minia.
Like that's a lot. All right, Adrian, what other questions do you have for Seb before we let them get back to launch day.
Yeah. Anything else we didn't cover, Seb, that you want to touch on?
No, I think we're pretty much
Amazing.
good here.
I'm excited to. I'm glad that it's going to be web, so we can roll that into the show as well. So that'll be great, because I was thinking that today. I'm like, oh, I wish I could show this, but it's only on my phone and blah blah blah. So we'll definitely make sure once that launches that we show that on the show on Friday, so we can make sure everybody knows what we're talking about. I do love the way it's laid out. So whoever did the UI, great job. And it just like has that a very different feel, which I appreciate. All right. With that, thanks so much, Seb.
Okay.
We love having you here. We appreciate you.
It was awesome. All right.
Excited for launch day.
Yes,
Good luck.
let's go. All
Good
right.
luck. Hope it all goes well. Good luck with
Good
the
luck.
Apple Store. Come on, Tim
Congrats.
Apple. Give this guy a break.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Seb.
Bye.
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 That was great. Yeah.
That was great.
He was great. So go check that out today. Look for, if you just go to Seb's account on Farcaster, you'll see when he launches it, I'm sure. And definitely, if you're a trader, you definitely want to check out that client. There's just a different feel, and it's very trader friendly. We did have one other question that I just wanted to address real quick that was in the chat. Some people talking about Caster Agent. And okay, here it is. I really hope you guys mention Caster Agent that keeps spamming in our comments. And if there's anything we can do regarding that, I blocked, muted, but it still appears. So it still appears because sometimes they're replying to somebody else within your cast and not you. So you might see it. Or the other place where I've seen it is it's not necessarily blocked on like a different client. Like I blocked them and reported on Farcaster, but I still see it pop up occasionally on Base App in the replies. So I would just say, be patient. It will eventually go away. It's my guest.
We haven't talked about, I think we have not talked about Caster Agents.
No, we haven't talked about that one. No.
Okay.
Because it's just annoying. It's a bot that's replying to absolutely everything, and it needs to stop. Like, I don't mind the bots that are replying and they have a purpose, or that we've, that you've opted into. Totally fine. That one just feels a bit too intrusive. So if you are a Caster Agent, maybe just adjust your approach before you get blocked completely by absolutely everyone.
I think people block on Farcaster, but I don't think Base App has the blocks or the mutes enabled yet. So
maybe after this week.
And also, I don't know if this person is talking about Caster Agent liking it, but this is the classic, like, you think everybody agrees on something. There's always someone who likes something you don't like.
They might.
Don't yuck my yum. But
that's why block and mute liberally. Like, things you don't like, create your own environment, create your own experience, block the things you don't like, report the things you don't like, and create your own version. But yes, you can't on Base App at the moment. So that's a bit of a problem, but it works on Farcaster. Anything else, Adrian, before we wrap? And thanks to, if you are watching over on Twitter and you found us through either the Farcaster or Clanker accounts, make sure you follow GM Farcaster as well on Twitter. Give us a follow. We do this show 3 times a week. So come on back. And we often have really cool interviews as well, but we're not always on the Farcaster account. So I see lots of people tuning in today and just want to make sure we don't lose them. Later today, we'll have also the Clancaster spotlights. You'll see those pop out into YouTube. And I think that's it. Anything else, Adrian? And if you're going to be at Basel, come find me. We're going to have a little happy hour. So
thank you to the Haberdashery.
Thank you to the Haberdashery. Yes. Thank you, Haberdashery. Go check them out in the Degen DAO channel on Farcaster, and look for more coming from the Haberdashery this month. They'll be on our sponsor on Wednesdays. So More to come.
Yeah, if you want to learn more, I think best place is Farcaster client. Go to, because not everyone's implemented channels, and check out the DGen DAO.
Yep.
DGen DAO channel.
I think that's where we're linking to in our mini app as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching this on the mini app, or if you can't remember what we said, go into our GM Farcaster mini app and it will take you there as well. All right. And with that, I think that's it. Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate you. Thanks to the chatters. And we will be back Friday. Are we at our regular time? I think we are. 8:30?
Regular time. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Again, thank you, Seb, for popping by to talk about Zapper. Go check out Zapper. It's going to be launching wide today. If you've been on the test flight, make sure you've been passing along your feedback, and we'll see you on Friday. If you're going to Art Basel, look for me. And until then, everybody, bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and HyperSub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates, and add our mini app on Farcaster and the base app. Until next time, bye-bye.